New data from airlines, sports, and amusement parks indicates more reason for a second stimulus check. Hey everybody, this is LALATE with a second stimulus check and stimulus package update for today. This is our first of 3 second stimulus packages today. Coming up later today, we have groundbreaking, shocking news about new lending instruments, namely the Main Street Lending Program, which could put $250,000 in your pocket. And later today, we will be answering your PUA and UI questions and going through specifically the EDD website. But now let's get to really some great and interesting data about the second stimulus package and the amount of money that could be landing in your pocket. As you know, Congress is currently on recess, but they're still talking internally among members of the White House, whether it's Steve Mnuchin, Larry Kudlow, or the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, about a second stimulus package. And where we are is the following. The HEROES bill landed in the Senate from the House. And someone asked me yesterday, that's the only bill at issue. No, it's not. The HEROES bill is merely one of many proposals that is currently on the table. The HEROES bill proposes to give you a $1,200 second stimulus check. One second stimulus check. But there are other proposals out there. There are proposals of $2,000. Multiple $2,000 checks, giving you checks retroactively and giving them to you every 6 months until the pandemic improves or until unemployment rates decrease. So that could put you with at least $12,000. There are other proposals, both in the HEROES Act and not in the HEROES Act. First, we have the Portman Plan. That proposes to give you $445 per week if you're employed, partially employed, or simply employed for this week. It's an impetus to get people back to work and reward them to go back to work, but they simply don't have enough hours. They simply just don't have enough work, or they simply just don't have enough customers. There's additionally the Bradley Plan, which, contrary to the Portman Plan of $445 every single week, even retroactively, Bradley would only pay you $600 over 2 weeks. Finally, Steve Mnuchin said this week that he wants to put money in everyone's hands, especially the unemployed. As you know, the Portman Plan rewards people who go back to work and have jobs to go back to work. But how about the people who don't have jobs to go back to work? That's the focus of this channel, along with everyone else. And Steve Mnuchin understands that people who do not have jobs to go back to work need to have federal assistance. What could that federal assistance be? It could be extension of PUA benefits, $600 per week, extension of the federal, I'm doing what everyone else is incorrectly doing. PUA is not the $600 a week. FPUC is the $600 per week. Extensions of the $600 per week from the federal government every single week into January 2021. There's desires to extend the benefits of PUA, which is only 33 weeks currently, change the benefits of UI, and then you have the HEROES Act, which is a proposal from the Democrats. The HEROES Act proposes to give $13 per hour to essential workers on top of their existing hourly rate. It proposes to forgive student debts or forgive loan payments and interest payments into 2021. It proposes to extend PUA or the $600 per week under FPUC into January 2021. It also proposes to do a lot of other things. Along the discussions, there's been so much else out there. So one viewer asked me yesterday in the comments, which I'll be getting to shortly, well, I thought the HEROES Act is the only proposal on the table. No, it's one of many proposals. Where we are is the following. The Democrats are proposing $3 trillion. The Republicans, or Republican, Mitch McConnell, is proposing a single $1 trillion stimulus package as your second stimulus package. The Trump White House this week said he's going to land somewhere in between, which is great news. It's great news, and you know why, as the helicopter comes to take the host, is because the White House wants to give you exactly what the CARES Act provided. The CARES Act provided for $2 trillion. The difference is the CARES Act was really inundated with big business bailouts and big business loans. If you looked at the CARES Act, which LA has done, only about 6 to 8% of the money of the $2 trillion of the CARES Act went to you, the individual, you, the self-employed person, you, the unemployed, you, the person who's an independent contractor who's lost their job and had their hours reduced. The vast majority of that money went to programs for big business or medium-sized businesses, not in the second stimulus package. While there's talk about all these other things like extending PPP loans, the second stimulus package, from the words of the White House, is to put more money in your pocket. Finally, you asked me when would you see this and when would we have the decision and when would we have it finalized. The finalized vote is likely to come August 8th. This channel is reporting. Why? That is the final day for Congress to be in session to pass the second stimulus package before they go on yet another vacation. They're currently on vacation because they don't have enough of them. And when they return, that is when the second stimulus check debate will heat up right away. It'll be around the last week of July. But let's get to the shocking news right today, and it comes from three regards. It's basically three different industries that shows that a second stimulus package is really needed. You know, second stimulus packages are derived, the push for a second stimulus package derives from really three cores. One, unemployment numbers. If you have unemployment high, you need a second stimulus package. Two, it comes from COVID-19 cases. COVID-19 cases are out of control. They're on the rise. 5,000 new cases in LA County alone today, which is up from, 800 or something, or 500 when the CARES Act was passed in March. I mean, we're up tenfold. Three, consumer spending and consumer confidence. If you don't have consumer spending, you don't have consumer confidence, then you need a second stimulus. Why? Because a stimulus is to stimulate the economy. That's what it means. It's to put money in people's pockets so they can make rent, so they can pay their bills, so they can not lose their homes, but also so that they have confidence in the economy. Well, here's the new data today. First, airlines. Airlines showed real big trouble overnight since yesterday's recording on a second stimulus package. Why? Because airline stocks plummeted on yesterday overnight and are plummeting today because New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut issued new travel orders. Those orders are blocking for 2 weeks any travel into those states from North Carolina, South Carolina, Washington, Utah, and Texas. For some reason, California is not on that list, even though California's numbers are absolutely out of control, and so is Arizona's numbers. Andrew Cuomo said in a statement, for those traveling domestically, we encourage all of our customers to check in with local and state governments that are traveling so they understand what are the orders. So there's big travel orders that is killing the travel industry today, and airline stocks are taking a hit. With airlines taking a massive hit, that is more reason for a second stimulus package. Why? Don't think about just big business. Don't think about just the airline themselves. It's the employees. Viewers of this channel are airline attendants. Viewers of this channel work the tarmac at the airlines. They are going to either be furloughed or have reduced hours. They are going to need a second stimulus because more states are blocking travel literally today. Second, new indications are that professional sports are more under fire than we originally knew. The PGA is now instituting a new voluntary program, which it may move to mandatory, of using what's called the Whoop device. And no, I'm not pronouncing that wrong like yesterday's word. It's actually Whoop, or WHOOP. And it's a device which would monitor respiratory rates of PGA golfers while on the field. And it worked for Nick Watney, who is a PGA Tour golfer. He said, it alerted me to the PGA Tour for a test because it suggested that he had symptoms. And unfortunately tested positive. I'm very, very grateful to have identified these signs early enough, and I'm now following the PGA's protocol. So it showed a respiratory rate had spiked in his reading, even though he had no feelings of COVID-19, and that he may now have coronavirus. finally, Walt Disney World, which is really quite shocking. This is something this channel has never detailed before, and I didn't see this coming. But I think you're going to see more of this, and this is more reason for a second stimulus package. Members of employees who, and these are W-2s, who work at Walt Disney World, have signed a petition, 7,000 of them, asking that the government step in and order Disney World not to reopen in July. The virus, this is their statement, the virus is not gone. Unfortunately, it has only gotten worse. Having our theme parks remain closed until the cases steadily decrease will keep our guests, our employees, and families safe. Reopening theme parks is only putting our guests, employees, and families at risk. This is quite interesting. You know why this is interesting? In PUA and UI benefits really have a big problem when you're offered a job to go back to work. You don't take the job. The employer, in the case of UI, can report you were offered a job to go back to work and you didn't take it. And sadly enough, the way UI and PUA works is that fear of coronavirus, a fear of contracting coronavirus is not a ground for eligibility. In fact, if you call into the California EDD website, it actually has it in its recording. Fear of getting coronavirus is not a reason to decline employment, and a state can deny your employment benefits for a particular week simply because you didn't want to work for fear of coronavirus. So in Florida, which is showing a massive spike, they're asking the government to step in and say, hey, protect us. Let's get to 132 of your great second stimulus check questions from yesterday. Kevin Lee, we need consecutive payments of $2,000, at least 6 months, 3 to 6 months. Very well said. Matthew, I want to know what happened to the HEROES Act. So the HEROES Act is in the House. When it landed from the Senate, it's in the Senate. When it landed from the House, the response from the Senate's leadership, aka Mitch McConnell, was no way, no how. He said the HEROES Act is going to die. The question is, where is it going to go? And as I said before, one viewer said, I thought the only bill is the HEROES Act. No, that is the proposal that came from the House. Once in the Senate, other senators can come up with their own proposals. They can change it, they can rewrite it, they can come up with new ideas, and that's where we are at the moment. And let's go to the next comment. So Quinetta, we should get $2,000 a month for 3 months. Very well said, Quinetta. Norma May, I'll believe it when I see it. Robert Henson, a 330 Vortex. I emailed Doug Collins as my nose is really itching. Wow. And they called today. I uploaded a release and they checked my grant. I did check the box. So he's having issues about EIDL loan and EIDL grant, which we'll detail in later tonight's video. Jimmy Jan, how about everyone getting normal salary for a year? I love that. Cressy, they need to extend the $600 a week for the end of the year. I think it needs to go longer than the end of the year. I think it needs to go into January 2021 or longer. Jimmy Jan, he said stimulus package, but he said nothing about direct check to the people. Members of the Trump White House have said a stimulus package to the American people. Absolutely. Tim Wilson, if we get $6,000 after this date, then I promise to send you a new shirt for every $300. Every new shirt you wear for $300 per shirt. Deal, Tim. Nick Stansberry, Kathleen Stout, you should give us more food stamps. Lloyd, looking into senators and representatives that got one of those loans. Yeah, really quite awful. Kathleen, $1,200 wasn't going to help because everything else has been so high priced. Very well said, Kathleen. This channel has been very critical of the $1,200 second stimulus check proposal of the HEROES Act. I think it's an abomination. I think it's horrible. And the reason why it's bad is because you were supposed to get multiple $1,200 second stimulus checks under the under the CARES Act. When the CARES Act came to a vote, it originally had multiple months of $1,200 second stimulus checks. When it came to a final passage, all those months were gone, and it was one $1,200 check, and they said, you know what, we'll get to it later. Well, they haven't gotten to it later. We've been months sitting here. Where are the darn checks, people? Beverly, I watched for the first time. I really enjoyed and appreciate your information. You're sincere and seem to really care about the people. I do. Thank you so much. The government should be ashamed of themselves for having to spoon feed us. Yes. And I've said very deeply that I hate that members of Congress are trying to use this second stimulus check as a carrot, like we're a bunch of rabbits, and hold it over our mouth come September, like we're going to elect them because, hey, you gave me a nice check in September, which I was owed back in April. I'm from Kentucky and Mitch McConnell needs to go out. Jay Young. Jay Young has a comment about yesterday's video. I'm not going to read his comment, but I'm going to say this. In a given day, this channel records currently about 5 videos. Every video is a single take. What it means by single take is there's no editing in the video. You don't see it cut and splice. The reason why is it's taped as though it's live, but it's recorded. And so I want you to see it, everything is fresh and as live as possible. Moreover, when I read your comments, I'm reading them cold read, so you see my reaction directly on camera. Nevertheless, because of that, there's always going to be some type of pronunciation error. There's going to be some hilarious moments, like when I said escort, trucking escort. I didn't know what that meant, and I certainly thought it meant something else. And there are going to be other moments that are just sort of off the rails, and that's the greatness of doing something cold read with a single take. Some viewers yesterday thought that a mispronunciation was deliberate and was attempting to be shady. It was not. And if you thought that was that way, I certainly apologize. All right, Georgia Girl, campaign slogan for Trump, Make America Rich. Rowan O'Donnell, hey, I love the shirt. It's your color. I love that president said it, and I love the word Okay, I could probably butcher the pronunciation again, so I'm just going to leave that word off of this recording. And maybe leave it off the channel completely. And Adam Coppola. And if I butcher your own name, I'm sorry about that as well. I did that with Bo B or Bebo or BUTB, which is just every single time I pronounce it wrong. I want to go back to work, making less on unemployment than my job. I can't stand the politicians who argue the majority of workers are earning more. Really? Very well said, Adam. Norma, I will believe it when I see it. Norma, as you know, this channel details every stimulus package that's proposed. The purpose of this channel is not to tell you what a bill has passed, which would basically have our feet up on a chair and waiting for months. This channel's purpose is to tell you what is being proposed and what is actually alive. And some days it's both. Renee Silvers. Let's not forget our first $1,200 stimulus check called that grand amount. El Rowe. That interview was a campaign ad. Carrie Gibson. We need this check to help us. Sam G. My entire profession got right off because of COVID-19. Perfect Dog. I'm waiting for my EIDL advance of $1,000, as a lot of people else are. Love for Animals. Dollar stimulus check would be so helpful. See, I'm even avoiding the word because I know I'm going to butcher it again. Yvette Walker, hey, LA, I've been in LA. I've been watching you from the beginning. Finally, leaving my thank you for all that you've done and help for many of us. You're very appreciated. You're the bomb. Don't leave us. If you just joined us, which I know you have, yesterday was our highest new subscriber ever for this channel and our highest viewed single day. That's quite wonderful because the 25th of this month will be our 2-month anniversary since relaunching. In that time, we're about to make it to about 10,000 subscribers and 1.8 million views. Quite wonderful. Let's celebrate with us. All right, Samala, thank you for the updates. Is it possible I can invite Jovita for dinner? I'll leave that joke for the EIDL videos. Andy F., I didn't get my loan. Robert, I love you. No one else can walk on water. Yes, I love to walk on water. Sometimes I trip and fall on my face. Charlie Robinson, it would be awesome we get $2,000 and retroactive. It would be, Charlie Robinson. Money should be retroactive. Saint, I haven't got my first, so I should get double. Lionel Pittman, they need to be candidate, $2,000. Very well said. Philip Payne, out with the old and new, in with the new. I agree 100%. Charlie, so this would be $6,000 given to us by August, or would it be $12,000 for married couples? When we're talking about second stimulus packages, whenever we're talking about any numbers, you need to double it. So the number is double if it is a married couple. And I'm not talking about dependents like your children yet, because those get money. Those individuals get money as well. I'm really only talking about one person, so you have that microcosm, and then you can double it if you're married, or if you have a child, then assume that there might be money for them as well, because there will. Kathy, I love your info. Well, thank you. Christopher Ingram, you're a wonderful human being. Well, God bless. Well, thank you. That's so wonderful. Diane, a whopping $233 stimulus check. No, Diane. Jay, I want to know if it's possible for me to have a cosigner on EIDL grant reconsideration. No. Frank Gideon, did you say that wrong word? There's no such word. By the way, it's pronounced that way. Well, thank you for all you folks with your pronunciation help. I really appreciate it. June, what to do not getting my unemployment. Watch our PUA video, which is coming up later today. September Sapphire, he's a funny one. They should get each household, not person, $100,000. That would get the economy jumping real quick. It would. It would also put the U.S. government in debt and bankrupt the Federal Reserve. Richard Koch, I just want to thank you for all the information on your channel. It's been extremely informative and helpful. My stories I applied on April 8th. I received in advance 2 weeks later. I'm trying to get an increase to 21,000. I just watched all the viewers, and their reconsideration mailbox is full. You contacted your representatives. We did a video about a week ago, Richard, about how to increase your EIDL loan amount. Please watch that, and it may help you. Bo B, who I always pronounce wrong, second stimulus, all good news. Mike, unemployment, $2,400 will give us the rest of $2,400. Shanae, excellent review. Well, thank you. Anthony, great video. U.S. citizens only or residents too? I mean, that's really a big debate. That is a very, very big debate. I like that question. Too finaglis. Kimberly Hale, he said the next stimulus, what do you think the chances are of reoccurring payments? I think they're very high. Absolutely think it's going to happen. Can PUA go up as well? No. PUA doesn't go up. It's FPUC, which is the $600. I don't think that number is going to go up. Would it be extended? Yes, I think it's going to be extended. Hoover, your videos are getting better and better. Thanks. Keep it up. They are. I feel that they're getting better as well. Thank you. That's a really nice comment. Nadine Abbas, 2001 year till he gets my vote. Let's do that. Every politician who approves $2,000 a second stimulus check every single month to 2021 gets our vote. I think we should do that. We should sign a big petition, say, if you vote for this, you get our vote. If you don't vote for this, you won't get our vote. Wayne Montgomery, there's some political comments. As you know, this channel not try to be political at any time, and slams both parties on a regular minute basis, on a regular daily basis. The only one that we certainly take aim at more often is Mitch McConnell. If you have questions in today's video, drop them in the comments below, and we may answer them in tomorrow's recording. Coming up, 2 other second stimulus check videos, one about the Main Street Lending Program and new loan items, and PUA and UI. As always, stay with LALATE for more.